small group of people are sitting somewhere and dictating the fate of this country. You will not have, IREV will not work. We will give you the results to go, amend the results, go to the collation center. When the collation center chairman is ready to review, we give him the IREV figures which we have tallied with the fake results given. This is it. Only early this month, there was natural disaster. There was earthquake in Turkey. The president has sworn to rebuild it. Last year, there was earthquake in South Africa. They are rebuilding. These are natural disasters. Human disasters are when you have one individual destroying the future of hundreds of millions. They are worse than tornadoes, most powerful tornadoes. They are worse than earthquakes. 60,000 people died in Turkey. Remember, 800,000 people were killed in Rwanda. One individual brought Somalia to its knees. One individual brought Iraq, an ancient civilization, to its knees. One individual brought Libya to a sorry state. We have individuals who have amassed wealth and think they can, in the Eagle Square, disgrace citizen number 1, citizen number 2, citizen number 3, because they have millions of dollars to spend on state governors. And they will come out, hold INEC, control the security, control the judiciary. That is why they are telling you go to court. People are afraid to mention courts in civilized societies. The moment you mention court, he will say, okay, what do you want? That is the truth of the matter. We are heading, like I told you, when everything is at stake, and right now everything is at stake. My country is at stake. So I'm ready to deploy everything I can within the Constitution, not to let this happen. Risks with the lives of 213 million. When Rwanda went up in flames, they were playing, they didn't think it would happen. Tunisia, when the gentleman set himself on fire and the Arab Spring began, the Egyptian dictator had been in power for 30 years. Nobody could try him. They thought it was a joke. In 1997, Suharto, who had perfected the art of suppression, we have seen dictators all over the world. I like what Governor Okoa said. He's nothing. But at the moment, that nothing is about to bring something disastrous to Nigeria. I have elevated him to a glorified common public servant in whose hands Nigeria's fate is in it. He is not Mahmoud Jega. Nobody is going to be Orubebe there. And he should change his attitude, change his thinking, and come back into line and do what is needful. What I'm saying in summary, it is legal, it is constitutional, and it has been provided for. The cancellation that we have called for is not unforeseen, it is very normal. Cancellation is very normal, it is within the law. Has even been provided for 25th February 2023 presidential elections have been called upon by all the people we have listed, all the organizations we have listed, international, African, national. Do not, for God's sake, ignore this. Thank you.
I would invite you once again because there is a breaking news and we need to respond to it quickly. Thank you.
Sorry, I have to come back to the microphone because at the moment the coalition has resumed at the ICC. That's perhaps the INEC chairman says he will continue with the process. And also because you have raised this issue, because you have asked him and you said you hope that he listens, there is a press statement coming from the INEC chairman's office by his press secretary who says that asking him to step aside, that is impossible, and that there is no sense in asking him to step down. And aside that, he also says that any other thing that needs to be done has to be done along the line of the Constitution, and you should wait for the process to be concluded. Finally, there was a point that was being raised as to the peace of the country, and perhaps what you are asking for is going to raise violence and disturb the peace of the country. I'd like your reaction to that.
I did not ask for Mahmoud Yakubu to step down, neither did our party. We are specific and very, very categorical on cancellation of elections. In fact, we need Mahmoud Yakubu there to do the job. And afterwards, he can continue to serve as INEC chairman. The law can even be amended for him to be reappointed. Now, this thing about peace and security of Nigeria, I told you, whoever is trying to twist our language will fail. We have been calling for peace right from our campaign days. And we shall continue to call for peace, and we shall continue to call on Nigerians to protect their democratic rights. Nobody here called for anything. Uprising, violence, nobody did. And whoever is trying to say that those people are the ones calling for the violence, it doesn't make sense to me. Just to tell you again, we are not about Mahmoud Yakubu stepping aside. We don't need his job. So I don't know, do you have anybody who wants a job?
Actually, we have not called, we have only called on him, Mahmoud, chairman of INEC, to please obey the very law that he fought for, along with Nigerians, particularly the civil society organizations. He spoke to us on this severally. He fought for it alongside other Nigerians. We're only asking him to follow the process. There's an electoral act, and he was excited and spoke to the world and spoke to Nigerians concerning it. He promised us that the beavers will be used and that there will be transmission of results in accordance with the Electoral Act 2022. He should do what is right and not destroy this nation. He should do what is right and give hope to our youths and give hope to all Nigerians. What is right is what is right. But apparently he appears to want to toe the line of impunity. We're only just recalling his mind to what is in the Electoral Act, the law of the land, and that it ought to be obeyed. But he's decided not to obey the law, and that is not right. That is impunity. He should do what is right.
What Governor Okowa just concluded, that is insecurity, that is violence, that is crisis. When you are consistently violating the law, resting on the law, and the instruments of government to continue to violate the law, that is what I call violence. INEC is meting out violence on the Nigerian nation. That is violence, not us trying to defend, trying to call him to do the right thing. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we have spent enough time here and we've covered all the grants. So thank you so much, Governor Okowa. Thank you, Dr. Baba Ahmed, for all the useful information we need to know. So, in summary, nobody is calling for violence. It is INEC that is visiting violence on the rest of us. Thank you. Thank you.
Not to let this happen.
Okay. can stay there.
No, let me see your face.
My name is Obina Kalazo. I speak for the concerned citizen society. Yes, please. Now, sir, coming here, there was a young man we saw carrying a placard naked. He was just wearing a trouser saying his future has been sold by INEC. And I also speak for the women in the marketplace, traders and all that. They trooped out from morning on Saturday till late in the evening. I want you to speak to them, Nigerians that are watching, giving them encouragement how to come out again, because our agreement is we are not accepting this. How can they be trusted? How can they give their trust again to INEC after now? So I want you to talk to them and tell them there is hope somewhere. Thank you.
Attending to questions.
First, we want to ensure that the process is followed according to the rules of this country. The electoral is very clear. The INEC guidelines are very clear. The constitution of this country is very clear. It is for us to defend the rights of the people. We are not asking for anything unusual. We are asking for the right thing. Nigerians must collectively stand up for their rights. We're here to continue to talk to the conscience of our people, particularly the INEC chairman and those who work with him. I will continue to emphasize this and to re-emphasize it. He has a moral obligation to save this nation by doing what is right. That was what he was appointed to do, and that is what he ought to do. Any other thing is wrong, and he cannot continue to play with the future of our children. He cannot continue to play with the future of our mothers. I will call upon him to do what is right. I have said earlier, if the law was forced on him, it's different. He fought for the law along with the civil society organization, for which we are truly very grateful to our civil society members across this nation. They fought for this, and he was with them all through on this. Why would you go through a fight? And we're all excited. Internationally, the global community was excited that this time we're going to have it right. He traveled overseas, even to Chatham House, to the United States, to speak about a credible election premised on the law that have been put forth. The same man who fought for the law is going against it. We are speaking out to the Nigerian people. We're speaking to all. They want to speak to the conscience of the INEC chairman. And I hope he hears us. Because dignity is important. No matter how much money you have, no matter what you think you are, until you are a man of integrity, having sworn to an oath, he's just but nothing. So I just hope that he will save his name. It's already down, but he still has an opportunity to save that name by doing the right thing. And it's very, very clear. In the first instance, I talked about that section of the Electoral Act, and the Electoral Act was all encompassing. Oath of neutrality. All staff, electoral officers, presiding officers, and return officers. And he is the chief return officer, so he's one of those persons. And security officers taking part in the conduct of an election shall affirm or swear to an oath of loyalty and neutrality, as in the second schedule. He knows what is right. He has to save Nigeria. It is only when he does what is right that we can be sure that we truly have a nation of our own. It's only when he does what is right that the children of this country, the youth of this country, will realize that there is still hope and that there's a nation, Nigeria, that they can call their own. We appeal to him that he should not dash the hopes of millions of youths in this country, because he will be bringing a curse on himself and his generation. And I don't believe that he ought to do that. He's a man who fought for what was right along with others. There is nothing, no amount of pressure from anybody, no amount of inducement from anybody should cause him to do what is wrong. There is a law very clearly stated in section 64(4) AB. And going through that, even to that section 64(4), 5, 6, 7, 8, it's very, very clear. He knows what is, I guess he knows what is in the law. He also drew the guidelines in section 38. He just has to keep to what is right. He has to save this nation by causing a cancellation and putting a stop to the further coalition that is going on. That is the only way we can truly secure the future of this nation. And as for Nigerians who are waiting, I believe that Nigerians know what is right to be done. We cannot sit and watch and allow one man or a team of men to destroy the future of this nation.
Real peace is not the absence of violence, it is the presence of justice. We cannot continue to make the job of those destroying Nigeria easy. Each time we come out to tell Nigerians, calm down, let it pass, the more we tell Nigerians to be peaceful, the more the bad elements perfect their instruments and systems of corruption, of constitutional and legal abuses. For how long are we going to continue to do that? In the most advanced democracies, you have human beings chaining themselves to highways because toxic materials are being transported through their territories. This is legal. This is constitutional. This is not violence. Only 2 months ago in Germany, you saw people, environmentalists protesting against coal mines, have stayed there in excess of 6 months